Psyched to be in both places. All right. Hello. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. So I want to welcome everyone, whether you're listening to the podcast or you're listening in YouTube or in the MindBody community on Facebook, or today I'm also live in Instagram. So, hey, really fun to be in multiple places at once. I'm going to be sharing some really powerful stuff today, specifically around what's coming up for a lot of people who are in lockdown or quarantine or just in this confinement and feeling really frustrated or overwhelmed or maybe angry, or it's bringing up a lot of like powerlessness or, why is this happening? I'm so sick of this. I wanted to share some EFT tapping, which is a really powerful way of reintegrating information in the brain, in your emotions, and repatterning what's happening in your body. So referent to some of the challenges that are coming up right now. So welcome. I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. Hello, sweet love. My daughter is here, which is always awesome. We have lots of people here live in Instagram, so welcome. That if you're new to EFT tapping, which is emotional freedom technique, EFT Meridian Tapping is just a really gentle way of giving new information to the brain to repattern the nervous system. I'm a physician. I've been working with people for decades with very severe chronic illnesses that aren't getting better no matter what they do, and actually finding what's actually happening in the body that's keeping this in place, that's preventing healing. And EFT Meridian Tapping is a tool I use all the time to assist with this. So I have seen as a physician how powerful this is, but we've also seen this become more and more mainstream. It's being used by lots of elite Olympic athletes. It was used on one of our favorite mainstream TV shows, Jane the Virgin. It's also been popularized with the the Tapping World Summit by Nick Ortner and his family, Jessica Ortner and the rest of the awesome Ortners. They have had a really great event every year using tapping, and it's free. So I'm going to share some information if you want to register for their free summit, because that actually starts this month, and I am one of the speakers in that summit. So I'll give you a taste in this session with what is EFT tapping and how we use it for specifically moving emotions, moving unconscious energy that are blocking health, wealth, abundance, causing disturbance in relationship, etc., etc. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a physician. I've been studying the mind-body connection for decades. I healed myself from a severe autoimmune illness that doctors told me would be lifelong. I've understood that the body has the ability to heal itself, that the mind and body are very intimately connected, and that we are first and foremost vibration. We are pure energy. Secondarily, it manifests as physical, solid, separate stuff, but that is not, in fact, what is happening when we look at the body, under a quantum, electron microscope. When we really look at what's happening, we are actually connected with everyone and everything. We are pure energy. When we understand this, so many things make sense, like severe chronic illnesses, chronic pain, chronic depression, chronic anxiety that doesn't get better no matter what you do, and that conventional medicine doesn't really have a good understanding of. So I am bringing this to the forum with my work. I'm at drkimd.com if you'd like to tune in. So welcome everyone who is here. Ellen from Toronto. Hello, Tara. Gabriella from London. Tara from Maple Ridge, BC. Jimbo, hello. Rebecca from the Netherlands. We just had an awesome international workshop for practitioners, for energy sensitive, empathic people, specifically around increasing your frequency, increasing your consciousness for the work you do with others. And we had people from all over the world. I was staring at the map of that for like a couple minutes, just in awe of how many people all over the world are connecting together when we do this work. So I'll include the link for that as well, because that workshop is still up for free. It's at drkimd.com/workshop. Hello, Gemma. All right, Lennis from Utah, Katarina from Sweden. Awesome. I myself am here in beautiful Durango, Colorado. So awesome. Welcome, everyone. All right. So I'm going to basically make this into 3 segments with how we use EFT and what specifically is coming up with, you might call it confinement, quarantine, lockdown, or COVID. Whatever you're going to call it. We're in this really, really fascinating and intense time. It can bring up a lot for all of us. For many, it's bringing up unthinkable amounts of fear, which have been part of the human collective forever and are now ready to surface and release. So we begin to live from love instead of fear. This is exactly what's happening. But depending on where you're at in your own filter, it can really be experienced as a massive cluster. And you're like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. So the first piece that's happening, that's actually ready to shift, that this period of, whatever you want to call it, confinement, is bringing up for everyone, like the global collective, is this old way of looking outside ourselves for answers. So for me as a doctor, I've seen how this relates to seeing ourselves as purely physical. I am my body, I am physical, I am separate. Everything, everyone else is outside of me. If I want answers, I have to get them outside of me. If I want solutions, I have to fight. Maybe I have to work really hard to make my life work. Seeing the world as separate. So separation consciousness. So looking outside myself for the answers, for the solutions, for the stuff. This is a major misperception in the collective because, in fact, we are not separate. Now, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. And yes, there is tons of science to show this understanding that we are, in fact, vibrational and we are connected with everyone and everything. And we even have the ability to connect in the awareness, like you go into your heart and you feel your love for your child or your friend or your lost lover, and that person calls you up and you're like, whoa, I haven't talked to them in 10 years. I have a friend, this happens all the time. I'll have these little conversations with him and it's kind of like a dream, and then he'll call me that day or email me that day, and I haven't talked in years, and all of a sudden I'm like, yep, I was thinking of you this morning and here we go. So we have this intimate connection, but most of us are still living in the matrix or the delusion that we are separate from each other. So when we go to look for answers or solution or insight, it's like, I got to learn the thing. Tell me the answer. What do I do? I don't know what to do, but maybe you can tell me. So looking for the guru outside of us, or maybe you put it on your doctor, like the doctor is God and they know all and they'll be able to figure it out, but you're really disconnected from yourself. So you're not aware of what's actually happening in your body. The one thing that this experience of, call it COVID, call it confinement, call it quarantine, this awakening is assisting, is that we begin to look within. So you're going to see people begin to realize well, I'm looking outside myself for the answers, but everyone has a different answer. I'm looking outside myself for the answer, but whoa, I'm being lied to. I'm looking outside myself for the answer, but nothing's really working for me. It's not true. To begin to now ask, what do I already know? Am I willing to trust my knowing? And the first way to do this is just soften your body. So if all you do today, when you get confused, when you get angry, when you get triggered, just soften your body. Even just a little bit more softening deepens the breath, increases your awareness of what's happening within you, and lets energy move, which is the biggest reason people have chronic pain syndromes that don't go away and their body's holding pain and tension. The energy can't move. Chronic illness, inflammation, digestive problems, autoimmune disease, the energy isn't moving. It's blocked. So the thyroid doesn't get what it needs. The adrenals are firing off, and we overshoot ourselves and we're depleted. A lot of things are happening in the body, but it's related to this phenomenon. We're shut down. The energy can't flow. So the body can't detoxify. It can't upgrade and become aware of new information so it can work even better like it was designed. And there's a million ways this shows up in the health world, but it's really the same underlying issue. We are disconnected from ourselves. So if all you do this week for kind of part 1 of what we're talking about here is soften your body just a little bit more, and bonus points, Pay attention to your senses. So smelling what you smell, you could do this exercise right now. Just close your eyes, soften and relax your body. And then just notice, what do you see? Even with your eyes closed, are there little flickers of light? Is there just darkness? Paying attention to your senses. What do you smell? Use your sense of smell, tuning into the body. Taste what you taste. Maybe you just ate some food. Maybe you just taste like toothpaste if you brush your teeth. Taste what you taste, even if you don't think you taste anything. Bringing your attention. Hear what you hear. And when I do this, I like to expand my hearing way, way out beyond me. So I'll hear the immediate spaces. You might hear my creaky chair here. I have to figure out how to handle that. And then expand your awareness way out. Like, are there birds? Are there trucks driving by? Are there sounds outside beyond you? Good. So seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and then your body, feeling and sensing. So just feeling in your body can only live in the now. If this is all you do today, it will change your life. So sensing what you're sensing, feel your body, feel your bum on the seat, feel your feet, feel your head, maybe move a couple parts around. And then expand that sensation beyond your body. So feeling the space around you. Okay, so 5 senses, tuning in. So the first part is soften your body. The second part is tune in to your senses. And then you can add this little bonus for the third part. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, if the answers are in you, if you are in fact divine, you are connected to all that is. If you did have the wisdom, what would it be like to let that in? This is the surest way to begin to do that. You are connected with your higher self, with divinity, with unthinkable answers and solutions, but you've got to tune in to let them register. So this changes your brain, actually changes the wiring in your brain, the construction of your brain. It's called neuroplasticity. Your synapses, the way your brain is wired, the neurotransmitters that get secreted, all of this responds to you changing the focus of your attention. So this short little exercise, soften your body, come to your senses, deepen and slow your breathing. Little 3-part activity. Very, very powerful for this first piece. Instead of looking outside you, because we are in a matrix, I am telling you, we will all come to this awareness sooner or later that what we're experiencing is not real the way we think it's real. There's something here for us that's more real, and it will begin to manifest when you tune into it. This is how I've helped so many people heal, because your body does have the ability to heal itself. You've got to tune into a higher frequency in order for that to happen. Okay, so that is the first piece. I am divine. I'm looking outside myself. Wait a minute. I am divinity. If I truly do have access to this, what would it take to let it in? Oh my gosh, 1111, yay. Thank you. All right, awesome. A Grant, I'm asking what my body needs to receive. So this is great. This is a great exercise to do if you're going to start. I've shared so many times in the past, ask expansive questions. What would it take to have this work out effortlessly? What would it take for money to flow into my life? What would it take for my body to feel great, to release the tension or the illness or the disease and flow into vitality, right? So asking is very powerful, but tuning in assists that. So it lets all that awareness in. All right, I have had some great awareness with this, and it's now just not mentally uncomfortable. It's now just not mentally uncomfortable. It's physically uncomfortable now too. So you're becoming aware of the discord mentally as well as the discord physically. Keep expanding your awareness to let the energy move, because when we do this, I guarantee you stuff is going to come up. It's coming up to come out. But if you start focusing into it, oh no, now I have this issue and that issue. I'm going to need therapy for the rest of my life. Now you just have more problems. So all you did was create more mind. And what we're doing in this exercise is actually releasing the mind to enter the true self. So we either, enter more into infinite self, we increase our frequency, we begin to allow higher awareness, or we contract more into physical self. Why do I have this problem? Oh my God, my pain. I'm so frustrated. Let me fight against it. Let me fight the demon, right? Are we becoming more vibrational or more identified with the physical? That will decrease your frequency and actually increase your problems. That's not what you want to do. I'm going to share a video about this on my YouTube because this has been coming up a lot with clients I'm working with in groups or privately. And I have a whole little diagram I did on this. So I will be sharing that. All right, stay tuned. The second piece I wanted to share today, this is a great point. Choi Sim said The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, because that whole book is like, you're just connecting into the no thing. Like if you try to tell someone that book's about, you're like, I don't even have words because I can't tell you what it's about. Because it's really, when you read the book, it brings you into a higher consciousness. It's not because you get information and then you do the thing and then it makes a difference. It's kind of the way I wrote my book when I wrote the MindBody Toolkit was it's written from a higher consciousness. So just the reading of it allows a cellular download. Okay. Rachel said I was diagnosed with panic disorder and agoraphobia. I learned to manage it, but during this latest lockdown, I felt it all return. Yes. So this is the biggest thing. We are not meant to manage problems. We are meant to live in freedom. And the perfect thing this is happening is like, it is going to bring up all the shit of where we've tried to manage things and where we've seen like, okay, I'm limited. I have this disease, and we buy in the construct. We buy into the construct of disease and then we manage it. And life's like, let me just bump you out of that consciousness. That is not who you are. You are sovereign. You are powerful. Let's have something come up that demonstrates that so that you make a new choice. So you can stay in the old construct of, I'm separate. I need to look for the answers outside me. I need to manage this, right? This disease is a thing. And therefore, here's what I have to do. And guess what's going to happen if you keep trying that? Going to knock you out of the park. You're like, there's no way. It's too dense. It's not possible. You're going to work so hard. You just blow yourself up and you realize what's right about this I'm not getting. This is bringing me out of all the coping mechanisms because I am not meant to cope with this. I can actually be free. Rachel went on to say during this late lockdown, all of this never actually went away. I think it's now an invitation to transmute these deeply held fears and feelings of powerless that underpin it. I hope today's EFT will help. Okay, cool. So the second piece, what I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to do the tapping, is it's bumping us out of victim, which is exactly what Rachel is talking about. Life is happening to me. How do I manage it? I have this disease and therefore it means blah, 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 blah. How do I deal with that? And if you're really awake, you realize like, God, that can't be true. That's just a lot of work. And I know my nature is freedom. So I wonder what else is possible. But for most people, they've not been there yet. So they manage it, they buy into it, and we become in victim. Well, every time victim comes up, right? This is happening to me. Why is this happening? It's because it's an invitation to shift. I wonder why this is happening for me, because I remember all of life is on my side. Why would this be happening for me? So begin to ask yourself with the triggers, the fear, the illness, the pain, the inconvenience, whatever, the rage. If this were happening for me, what would be the gift? Why would this be happening for me? Why could this be the greatest thing that ever happened? Now, don't answer the question. Be in the frequency of the question. Don't answer the question. Okay, don't look for the answer. Be in the frequency of the question. What's right about this I'm not getting? And this is actually in the MindBody Toolkit as well, one of my favorite tools. What's right about this I'm not getting? If this were a gift, what would be to my benefit here? Well, how could this be the best thing that ever happened? So let's look at that. That's the second. We are moving out of victim. We are sovereign. We are freaking powerful. We are divine. We are creating it all. Yes, mostly unconsciously. Don't make it wrong. Don't blame yourself. Don't go into the wrongness. If you are a creator, what would it take to do it all differently and create something awesome? So don't go into making yourself wrong. Coming out a victim can be hard because we bought into the wrongness of what is, or the wrongness, I'm wrong, and then we fight against it. What do you mean? You're telling me I created my cancer? Are you willing to receive that so that you can, without making it wrong, make a different choice? Yeah. Wow, I created it this way. And wow, I got a whole lot of clarity that did not feel like flow for me. That did not feel like my true divine nature of abundance. Okay, awesome. Good to know. What would it take to create it differently? Because most of what we're creating is unconscious. All right. And then the third part is we are resisting. So we resist life. Instead of receiving, instead of embracing, instead of yes, and we live in resistance. So what's coming up right now? I'm a victim. Why do I have to stay shut down? They're doing it this way. They should be doing it that way. And then there's this big divide, like what's happening and what I think should be happening. Resist, 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 resist. When I work with people, this is what comes up is like, well, how can I not resist? It's so bad and it's so wrong. And then we give so much power to the thing. Okay, so what if we take the wrongness out of it and we embrace it so that we get our power back? Because so much energy goes into resisting, then that's how we keep propagating the problem. We're creating it. All right, so couldn't find the mini integration package. Oh, the mini integration package is on hold right now. We are going to be working live with people for the Be the Medicine group, which is actually, I'll put the link in that for that right now. It's this is for coaches, practitioners, people who would like to be, working in wellness or awakening, assisting others awakening. And this is a program where I will work with you and assist you in that, in who you're being, in your own alignment and manifesting your world, your career, work, reality, and what the work is that you're doing with others. Oh, that didn't work. That's at drkimd.com/BTM, but I'm going to share also the workshop, which is drkimd.com/workshop. So hang on one sec. All right. So here is the link for the workshop. It's free and it's still up for like a few more days. If you would like to receive that, it's very, very, very powerful. All right. So Joe said, I think it's letting go of childhood fears. Yep. So this global confinement where we're like, wait a minute, I'm not in my own power. I'm not free. Everyone's going to tell me what to do. Yeah, it's bringing up the fact that we've been in the illusion of freedom. We have not been free. And I have lots more to say about that, but it's kind of fascinating. I've been aware of it my whole life, and it required me to move into where is my true freedom? Where is my true freedom? My freedom is in, I have the choice in every moment how I perceive reality. In every moment I have the choice how I perceive a situation, how I see. Do I see it as this is a terrible thing and shouldn't be happening, right? Looking outside myself, victim, resistance. Or do I see it as how is this serving me? It's all serving my expansion. Period, end. Once we become awake enough, we start to see that is the only sane way to live. So it will come up so that we truly begin to live from freedom instead of fear. Oh, all right, hold on. Katie, I was told by my therapist years ago that I had anxiety and my only option was to manage it. Yes. So anytime someone tells you something, go to your wisdom, feel in your heart, do the exercise we did in the beginning, soften your body, activate your senses, expand your awareness, increase your breathing. You just ask, is this true for me? Is this true for me? You'll immediately, the more I practice with this, the more clear, you'll immediately have the awareness. Nope. Or yes, this is true for me. Great. So the only way to manage it, the only option I have was to manage it. There is no cure. this toxic message is being spread by the professional psychotherapists. Yeah, so we can go into victim with that. Why are they doing this? They're spreading this toxic message. And I moved through all of this many years back and even more recently when I had this awakening and saw that the entire medical system is a sham, that I saw our entire financial system is a sham, that I saw our entire educational system is a fucking sham. And yes, there's, anger, there's powerlessness, there's victimhood. And we move through those to realize, wait a minute, what's right about this? I'm not getting. I can exist awake even if everyone else is asleep. So it's not like people are out there, this bad thing, and we have to fight against it. But when we wake up, we cannot be fooled. So all you have to ask is this true for me? So, hey, great, I can opt out of this system, the system of your health is outside you, you're broken, you'll never be fixed, but here's how to manage it. And millions of people buy into it, doesn't make it any more true. And you can reside outside of that. Okay, I know my truth. I healed completely and fully from a quote, autoimmune disease, degenerative arthritis, etc., etc. Was that true? Was that actually what was going on? I can let them have their opinion, but I didn't need to buy into it myself, and neither do you. Okay, can you talk about the power of awareness and how awareness can dissolve everything? Yes, and this is the premise of how I have chosen to use EFT, emotional freedom technique, and we'll go through some tapping now. When we affirm what's happening, like I have these thoughts, I have these feelings, I can't stand it, it feels awful, how can I say this is not wrong? It's so wrong, right? The idea that this is wrong, all the contraction. But we're bringing all of that into the space of I am, into the space of pure awareness. I am whole, I am free, I am sovereign, right? So we'll do the tapping in the beginning. Even though I have this problem, I choose to be at peace. You're instilling a new choice, right? You're making a conscious choice. Now we'll do this in the beginning. You're allowing your nervous system to repattern to that. Oh yes, all really is well. I really am powerful. I really can receive this instead of resist it and reside in true freedom. Even with the thoughts, even with the feelings, even with this experience, even with blah, 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 blah. So it's unconditional because awareness allows the dissolution. It brings you into a higher frequency. And in that higher frequency, the quote problems dissolve. Okay. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So much pain and confusion. Okay. I'm just going to read some of the comments, and if we have any in Instagram as well. Thanks for being here, you guys. Love it. Sometimes once the knowing comes up, it's the work to then change my act as a result of the wisdom and tenderness. Yes, and just the awareness allows so much dissolution. Okay, so here we go. Do I still have to use EFT? Do I still use EFT, or have I transcended it? You could say that. You could say, I mean, I still use it sometimes, but I actually can integrate the process of what's happening with EFT very quickly, so I don't necessarily use the mechanics of it. And most of the people I've worked with, a lot of them have come back and told me that as well, that that's what's happened for them, which is really, really cool. But it doesn't matter. So it doesn't take that long. You're not hurting yourself. Even when I'm in public, when I used to use it a lot, I didn't mind. I'm like, I'm in excruciating pain. Who cares if someone sees me tapping on my forehead? It just doesn't matter. All right, so let's go into the EFT now. And also, yes, I will share the link for, for the summit as well. Okay, so we're going to tap on the karate chop point on the outer edge of the hand. So, either hand will do. You can tap them both together. Gently tapping, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, now you're going to give a rewrite to your nervous system. You are in command. You are sovereign. You can make a new choice. So even though there's all this fear, all these problems, and you're going to repeat after me and say it out loud. Oh, someone said, I don't understand what you said about why you don't do the physical tapping anymore. It doesn't really matter. You can let this process integrate through your system in a different way, or you can just do it this way, which is really great for everyone. Okay, so relax your shoulders. Even though I have this problem, this pain, I choose to be at peace now. Okay, so that's our first setup phrase. Okay, now feel into what's coming up for you. What's the problem? What's the pain? What's the anger? What's the injustice? What's the limitation? Okay, and you can give it a 1 to 10. 10 is like the max. I can't stand this. And 1 is like, I barely notice it. Okay, and you can tell me what your level is. How triggered are you by confinement, by the idea of having these limits imposed on you? Or there may be a faction of you listening who are like, why won't everyone else just listen? Why won't they just do as they're told? If we're all just going to be good and listen to the authorities, it'll all work out well, right? Remember I said the first thing that's falling away is looking outside of myself for answers. Authority versus sovereignty. It will come up either side of the coin. Okay. Level 12. Okay, Regina. Woo, woo. All right. So even though there's so much coming up for me, I choose to be at peace now. Good. So embracing all of it. Even though this is so unfair, I choose to embrace this experience as it is. Good. And then the third one, which I think we already did the third one, but let me just get the slide out of the way. Even though I'm so frustrated, I feel powerless. I don't know what to do. I choose to embrace a new perspective. And remember my sovereign self. Okay, let it in. Just let it in. It doesn't come from you. It comes through you. So breathing in, breathing out. Now just gently tapping on the inner eye. So much intensity that's happening now. Outer eye. I feel like a victim and I have to fight. Good. So whatever's coming up for you. Under the eye. It's unfair. It's wrong. It's noticing what you notice. Under the nose. I'm being limited. On the chin. It's all against my will. Good. Like Christine said, other people's stressful energy. I'm taking on everyone's stress. Good. Under the arm, everyone's limitation. Good. So whether it's your own fear, everyone else, it's the same thing. Top of the head, all this fear. Inner eye, my fear. Outer eye, everyone else's fear. Good. Under the eye, I'm a victim to all this fear. Thank you for the hearts and love. Hi, Kate. Good. Under the nose, so much that's happening and changing. Right on the chin. I feel like a victim. It's being taken away from me. Good. So that old way, that was the second thing I shared. We're experiencing life a victim. It's happening to me. Good. Under the collarbone. And maybe there's anger with what I suggested. How dare she say this is happening for me? It's so clearly not. Just acknowledge and affirm it's already in your nervous system. Might as well neutralize it. Good. So how dare she say that? Under the arm. I'm so tired of everyone. Top of the head. Living in powerlessness. This really is what it's like when we live in powerlessness. Good. Inhale big. Relax your shoulders. Let everything go. It's okay to acknowledge this. The one thing that happens, people get really like, oh, it will intensify for a lot of people because now you're bringing shit up that was like, whoa, I've never really looked at that before. I've never vocalized that before. Because we do believe we're powerless. So we just like, we got to keep that suppressed. Be positive, be positive. We don't realize how powerful we are. You can actually hold the space for all of this to clear out. Then you can be free. Yes, you can use something else that you're triggered by, something that you feel like a victim of. Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's, oh, my children, they're just, everybody wants so much from me. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's money, right? I feel like a victim. Wherever you feel like a victim in life, wherever you're looking outside of yourself for the answers, these three things, and wherever you're resisting. I got to resist what is because it's completely unacceptable, right? Those three things relative to whatever. And what's happening now with confinement is going to bring all of it up. All of it. How do you feel? Okay, good. I feel calmer now, Sarah. That's awesome. SRC. It works. It works for my nervous system. It was very nervous nowadays. Oh boy. Somebody else. Did I hear we don't actually need to tap physically in doing EFT? So if you guys are in the Embracing Health work with me, like that will make a lot more sense. If you've been in any of my programs, I'm not going to just make that like a global statement, especially when there's so many new people coming to tapping, and we've been inviting people to the summit to learn it. If you want to learn it, I'm probably not going to get into that too much here, but your nervous system is constantly listening to your communication. So if all you do is put your hands on your heart and say, body, I love you. It's okay. We're feeling what we're feeling. It will allow a neutralizing of lower densities, even just that simple thing. So here's the link if you would like to register for please. I'm going to include that here. All right, so let's do a little bit more. So how do you feel after that? Did stuff intensify? Because a lot of stuff can come up more. Good. Do you use mudras? I use a couple really simple mudras. I've used them before, but I'm not really an expert with mudras. Okay, and that's just a different way to let the energy currents connect in your body in a certain way. We are pure energy. The pathways for energy, called the meridians, carry that energy circuitry. And they're either blocked and mucked up, or they're clear and flowing, and energy flows. And EFT is a great way to clear a lot of this circuitry. So let's do a little bit more. So we'll just continue. If you're new, you could always start with the setup phrase. Even though I'm feeling what I'm feeling, I choose to be at peace now. Even though I'm feeling what I'm feeling, I choose to embrace myself as I am. Even though I'm feeling what I'm feeling, thank you for the hearts. I choose to love myself fully, because what the self needs is love. It will let go of these energies. So inner eye, I'm taking on everybody's energy and everybody's fear. Outer eye, I don't feel free. Under the eye, I don't feel powerful. Under the nose, I'm looking outside myself for the answers. Good. On the chin, this idea of authority, that of course I have to ask someone that I don't know what I'm doing. By the way, this is also dissolving the idea of authority. Someone outside me with the power and I don't have the power. This is an old world construct. Good. Under the collarbone. What if I would receive this time as a gift? Okay, I'll pause more after each phrase. Sorry about that. Yeah, drink a lot of water if you're dizzy. Under the collarbone. What if I would receive this as a gift? Or you might be like, what the fuck is she talking about? This is not a fucking gift. Like, it might really intensify. So tap in what comes up for you. On top of that, what else is possible I haven't imagined? Inner eye, what could be the blessing here? Outer eye, blessing of being confined. Out under the eye, things falling away. Under the nose. What if it's an invitation to find my true self? Oh, Toshua, I feel the same way. On the chin. Who is my true self? Good. Breathing. Under the collarbone. I have so much bought into the world around me. Under the arm. The world of limitation. Powerlessness. The answers are outside me. Oh, let it all go. Top of the head. What if that's not the highest truth? We're going to do a little more. Inner eye. What if something higher is available for me now? Good. Outer eye. I don't know how to get there. Under the eye. What if I soften and allow? Under the nose, and make space for it to reveal itself to me. Good. Okay. Right on the chin. What else is possible? Under the collarbone. When I'm stressed and triggered. Under the arm, and noticing all of it. Top of the head. Could I make a new choice? The choice to soften and connect within. Right? Soften, come to my senses, smell what I smell. Breathe even a little bit more fully. Breathing in. Let it go. Awesome. All right. Let me know. How did you feel with that? Somebody said the link wasn't working, so let me check. It's working for me. So it's bit.ly. If you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/tapping summit 2021. bit.ly/tapping summit 2021. This is where we're doing a lot of really great education to teach a lot more in-depth tapping for all of the above, really. Oh, thank you, Lovey. All right, so how did that feel? I'm definitely feeling a shift in energy. Yeah, so we'll either feel it intensify, which is, I swear to God, it's crazy, but it's just as good. I know it's like, no, let the energy out. That means it's moving through. It's not like, managed, right? Like you got to manage your anxiety. That's the only thing you can do. Okay, let me just squish it into a little ball and put everything I have to managing it and holding it and putting the lid. So you live your life like, that's not full aliveness. It's not. And that is not your freaking truth. What if you remember you are sovereign and you can allow this to release and dissipate, that as you lift that lid, just get curious. Wait a minute. What if I just stop managing it and let the cat out of the bag? What would happen? Because the mind is saying, and the medical system will say, it will destroy you. Oh, okay, let me just look at that. Maybe it's true. I'm willing to receive that. Is that true? So from pure awareness, you will immediately know. You will have clarity. All right, my level 12 has come down. Thank you. Oh, good. It's working for me. Thank you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anybody in Instagram? I stopped crying at a 5. I'm definitely feeling a shift in energy. Awesome, beautiful. Well, I will find for myself when things intensify. So the ego is always going to want to escape. The ego's escape ultimately is death. Let me just die and be free from it all, right? So that's one of the reasons why suicide is at such an all-time high, is that we're living so much in the ego and no one has shown us, well, not no one has shown us, but most people aren't aware. There's like, wait, where's the doorway? How do I create the doorway? How do I step through the doorway of wholeness? To remember there's a part of me where I already am whole, and connect with that part to let the rest of this dissolve. Good. Yawning. Yawning is an awesome, awesome sign of energy moving, elevated and a bit tingly. That is awesome as well. I noticed when you tap under your arm, you lift your arm up over your head and then you drop it parallel. Is this a specific technique? No. But no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I go like this. And they're like, oh, I think I was just like resting it on my desk over there. There's no right way to do this. Like, you really could just give yourself a big hug, put your hands on your heart, but it is helpful to specifically just like tap into those meridian channels. For some, it's just a way to have a sequence, because there might be some of those points that are more powerful than others. So if you just like intuitively, like you just like tap on the cheek, tap under the collarbone. There's even, they call it faster EFT. I've never really found that to be powerful for me, but people do it on their fingers. It's the intention that is the most important. I will say this point underneath the collarbone is really, really powerful for me. I had a crazy little energetic conniption a couple of weeks ago when someone fired the gun for the temperature thing at my head. And I all of a sudden just like almost went into a seizure. I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. Inside, I'm like, I'm okay. But my physical body just went into this whole meltdown. And I'm like, what is going on? And my friend said to me, hey, get him here. Tap your K27 points. And it like immediately brought me back. We were all at lunch after, and I just couldn't even get into the conversation. I'm like, I'm not even here. I don't even want to be here. I was so in another dimension, and it just immediately brought me back. So this is a really powerful point underneath the collarbones. Okay. Any other specific things? Yes, I have lessons online. So drkimd.com is my website. Most of my stuff is free. I do have ways where people are working with me live or in groups, or there are DIY programs, do it yourself. Really, really beautiful programs. The Instant Elevation is my favorite kind of signature program for just getting in your body, because to be embodied, where you're like, I'm here. Now you can access your power. Now you can make conscious choice. Now you can allow manifestation to happen. But most of us don't realize we're not really very embodied at all. So I created this program. It's at drkimd.com/IEP, Instant Elevation Program. And there's just some really, really basic, smooth, fluid tools to allow this shift, to connect more with the conscious self instead of the physical self, separate self, which is hold on a sec, which is limited. All right, so let me see. Okay, you can go to the link in my bio on Instagram. So thank you, Lorca Byrne, for asking, where am I posting the links of these on Instagram? Go to the link in my bio, and we have everything there for both the Tapping Summit, and I put the link here. It's at bit.ly/Tapping Summit 2021, or for the free workshop, which is very, very powerful, very deep. If you are empathic, if you are shifting out of the old reality and into the new one, but you're like, I don't even know what that looks like. What am I supposed to be doing? How do I make a living? Who am I? How do I stop taking on others' energies? This is a really, really powerful and deep experience in more of a workshop format, where I guide you through the tools, techniques, exercises. drkimd.com/workshop. All right. So beautiful. SRC, I am not interested in that, but thank you so much for being here. Lucy, so interesting. Suicide is all about the ego. Well, it's when we're in the ego and there's pain and we haven't come into the whole self, we're not accessing it, then it seems like the only way to access something higher is, let me get out of this body. So that's a big, big reason why it's just so painful. It's so dense, and we haven't understood, where do I open the door? So for me, if I remember, physically soften my body like we did in the beginning, come to my senses, breathe, smell what I smell, see what I see, taste what I taste, hear what I hear, and expand the sense of hearing way out, feel what I feel, expand my sense of feeling way out. We do a lot more depth in this in the Instant Elevation program, or if you work with me live in the Embracing Health group, you begin to tap into where your divinity is already speaking to you. You are already connected. You are already connected. If there's something I've said that sparked it, it's affirmation that you are already connected with divinity in you. It's not over here in me. I am not a teacher. I am not a guru. I am here to be awakened to the highest degree possible for me so that I can inspire the same for others, period, the end. We each learn our own way. Oh, thanks, Jess. There's a great link for free EFT on my site to learn more, drkimd.com/EFT tapping. I think EFT-tapping is a little complicated, Jess. I think if they just go to EFT, it works, doesn't it? So if you go to drkimd.com/EFT, there are really great free resources on my site. But this is to assist you in like letting all that density just dissipate and neutralize a little bit so that something higher can emerge. All right, I love you guys. I love you, Gemma. I love you, Ellie. I'll be here every week live at 11 a.m. Mountain Time in my YouTube channel. Share this if you like, if you feel that you know someone who would be interested in this and it will assist their awakening. Also in the MindBody community in Facebook, and hello in Instagram. I'm going to try to do it here as well, but we play more in Facebook right now. A lot of people have been asking about a new platform. So I am checking out new platforms because I do understand the consciousness of a lot of the old structures, like really those are falling away. And there are new structures coming in that are interested in people being free and communicating freely, thinking for themselves. This is a time more than any other, and I talked about this a few weeks back, to tap into your own wisdom. Is this true for me? And begin a communication with that wisdom in you, because it will always lead you to more clarity. It will always lead you to greater truth. Period. The end. Always, 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 always. And you can access it from every now, from every moment. All right. So much love, you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Everyone is ready to awaken. So let's do this. Connect through your body to your wisdom, to your awareness. Begin to live more from the wisdom inside you than outside of me is the answer. Outside of me is the authority. The delusion of authority is falling away. Maybe very abrupt in some ways as we begin to see like, whoa, we've really not only been lied to, we've been extremely manipulated and like, oh, but if you sort of die before you die, it won't be a shock. Like you can see it now and you're like, oh, I could opt out of that and begin to follow my truth. I can opt out of that and live in freedom now. I can allow a communication with divinity in me. So I do have clarity. I do have answers. And then moving out of victim consciousness. Why would this be happening for me? Why would this be happening for me? My friend Shama, who's just so amazing and brilliant, always is reminding me, why would this be happening for you? So I ask that anytime things feel challenging or tricky or constricted or unwanted. And then the third part, move out of resistance. Embrace what is, receive what is, get in alignment with divinity. You do not need to fight the dragon. Simply wake up to the wholeness you are, which will stop feeding the dragon, and the dragon will die. So remember this. It'd be really, really helpful to remember this with what's happening now, because it's very scary when it seems like these big, powerful forces are making us do things we don't want to do, and it will strengthen victim consciousness, but it's only doing that so that we choose beyond it. All right, so much love. I'm at drkimd.com. The free Tapping World Summit is at bit.ly/tapping summit 2021. And for those of you who would like the free workshop, it's at drkimd.com/workshop. That is still active for at least the next few days. We start the Be the Medicine group up in about a week, I think. And then the Awaken Practitioner Collaborative is something I'm always inviting practitioners to come into. If you are awakening as an empath, as an intuitive, as a highly sensitive being, and you are so on board for living your life in a way that allows and invites abundance and allows you to expand that in your world with others, that is a really powerful place to start as a practitioner or someone who is currently expanding a business in coaching or wellness or consciousness. So that's at drkimd.com support.com/collaborative. Just go to the website if there are any questions you have, or you can email us at support@drkimd.com. All right, so much love. You're not alone. We're all connected in divinity. Soften even just a little bit. So you go there now, just a bit more. All right. Bye. Thanks for being here.